Hi, I'm so glad that you've joined us today. We're going to learn about Project Shield, which is making kits of reusable feminine hygiene products that we can send on mission trips or even use in shelters in a local community where maybe the women don't have the money to buy products. So I'm really happy that Carla Marsh is here with us today, and we're going to turn the time over to her to talk about Project Shield and tell us just what to do to make them. So Carla, time is yours.
Hi everybody, I'm so glad you're here. I hope you get excited about this as much as I am. Let's just talk about the fabrics that you want to use. First of all, for the shield itself, you'll need to have 100% woven cotton. That's a quilter's cotton, and you can find that in any fabric store. Colorful designs that will disguise stains. You don't want to use prints like animals, people, figures, faces, food, bugs, reptiles, guns, knives, girly glam, camouflage, those types of things. Some places they're actually illegal. Butterflies are okay, but you want to get something nice and pretty and colorful like these colors. And you don't want to match everything either in a theme for a bag, because if one girl gets one like that and the others are all mismatched, that could be an insult or whatever. So we want to just mix it all up and have everything all nice and bright and pretty. So we'll get started with this shield. You want to take one of your pieces and cut it by pocket by 5 inches up and down and 4.5 inches across. And there again, I said nice colorful pattern. So we're just going to take a couple of these and take the wrong sides together, just like that, in a fold, so that it's still 4.5 inches down, but it's 2.5 inches this direction now. It's shorter. And across that fold there, you want to do a seam, a top stitch. And I don't know if you can see this. I'll try and show it to you. Just a top stitch about 1/4 inch in there across that fold, and make 2 of these for one shield. So we're just going to put those aside and go right into the shield itself. Now, for the shield, this pattern is critical. When you get it, fold it in half this direction, and again this direction. Mine is very loved and very worn, so it's delicate. But the thing you want to be careful of is these edges on the inside. You want to make sure they're all even and not one corner sticking out or this curve in too far on one layer. So if they're all even, it'll fit any way you use it. And you can use this for the actual cotton on the outside and the waterproof lining as well. So that's the first thing you want to do. And then you can take something like a quilter's template material and make a nice flexible one. This is kind of like what you see for some cutting boards, but it's sturdy and you can use it to draw around or cut around for your pieces. And this pull that Nancy was mentioning is a waterproof lining. It's PUL, that stands for polyurethane laminate. You can find it in most fabric stores. And it has a shiny side and a dull side. And that's going to be important in your process of putting this together. So we'll take that shiny side. Actually, let's do the cotton first. Now that we've got the pull cut out, we've got 2 pieces of cotton. And we're going to put one down just like this with the right side up. And we're going to take the pockets that we made and we're going to put them at each end with the fold on the inside where you did the top stitching and the raw edges on the outside. And then take your second layer right side down so that those right sides are together and just line it all up. And that's going to be your sandwich. And this will be mentioned in your instructions. And you can pin that if you like to get you started, and put that on top of this waterproof layer. Now, when you put that layer down, you want the waterproof layer to be shiny side up. Then you want to take this sandwich and put it right on top of there. Now, when you pin it, you want to pin it so that the pin is actually not inside the garment itself, but just on the edge, inside your seam allowance. If you can see that, that might be hard to see, but that pin right there is just about 1/8, a little bit more to the inside. So you want to pin that. I usually do 2 pins, one on each opposite corner here to keep from making holes. Some people use these little jumbo clips that don't poke holes in anything. I find them obnoxious for something, so I use pins. But anyway, pin your thing together, and when you get it done, then you're going to stitch all the way down the sides from top to bottom, around the wing to the bottom, and again on the other side, leaving your 1/4 inch seam allowance. And make sure, double check right here, make sure that you get all layers in that seam, because you'll have a problem at the end if you don't. And then just trim that along your, along your seam allowance, nice and neat, so that you don't have big bulks in the curves or on the corners. And then you're going to want to flip it. Now, flipping it is going to be a trick. It's easy to do, but you want to remember a secret. When we started, we had the waterproof layer shiny side up, and that's important. Now you want to take this shiny or the waterproof layer and 1 layer of the cotton shield on the outside, and then you want to take the pocket and the other layer of the shield, and that's how you want to flip it. Okay, so when you get it on the outside, you'll see that we don't have the shiny side up anymore, because the shiny side is facing down now and the pockets are up. And what you want to do, actually this is up, press it like that, nice and flat, so it'll not be too bulky. Sew across the ends of your pockets. Make sure that pocket is on the right side. If it's not, you can just flip it over to this side before you sew it, if you see that the shiny side is on the wrong place. But your pockets are going to be on the shiny, on the dull side. So the shiny side is down and the pockets are up, so that when you flip it, the shiny side will be up and your pockets will be on top. Like this. After you flipped it, when it's been sewn like this, the shiny side is down, pockets are up. After you flip it, the shiny side is up again and the pockets are on top. That's the way you want to start out, and that's the way you want to end with this shield. So then when you get it to that place, you'll want to go all the way around all the edges, doing a top stitch, just like you did the pockets before.
It looks like maybe Carla's internet has frozen right now. Hopefully that's going to clear up here in just a minute. You guys, is this making sense to everyone at this point? Any questions? Can you all hear me?
Yes, we hear you, and I'm grateful this is going to be on YouTube to reteach and go
Yes.
through it again.
And actually, we'll probably have time for her to go through it again while we're on this Zoom call. But yeah, this is the most complicated of the whole kit, is this holder. This is where you see the pockets. That's where the pads are going to be slipped into. And I can just show you that while we're waiting for Carla to be able to come back with us. But this, you can see, is these are the pockets that she made, and these are the pads that slip in there. Welcome back, Carla.
I apologize. I don't know where I went.
I don't know. I think your internet froze or something, but we missed you. So I just took the opportunity to show them a little bit of the kit, you know, how the pads go in here. But now, you take it away, Carla.
Where was I when I left?
You were talking about how you have the pockets on one side with the shiny side up, and then you turned it. And I would say for me, that's the most confusing of the whole kit. So if you want to explain that again right now at this juncture, I think that would be really helpful. Can you go through the steps of when you're starting to make your sandwich with the polyurethane laminate, and then how you sew it together and flip it? That's the part that I think it's just a little bit tricky.
Yeah, it is. Okay, you want a shiny side up on this polyurethane. You want that down first. And then the sandwich that you made with your 2 pieces of cotton in the pockets, you want that on top.
Can you show us that now? We're looking at, can you take that top layer off so we could just see the pockets, how they are? Okay, so you can see you've got, okay, the shiny side of the pole is up. Is that correct, Carla?
It is up.
Okay, and then you lay one fabric right side up with
your pockets.
With the pocket, and the fold is on the inside of the it's on the inside, so that when it's stitched,
and so the raw edges are out at the ends. And then put your second layer on top that you made the sandwich with, and all of that goes together. And when you pin it so that your pin is not in inside the seam, or that it is inside the seam allowance. You don't want it to go in this waterproof liner and poke holes in it. So then you just sew down the edges of each side with the wings, etc. And don't sew the ends yet, just the edges on the wings, both sides. And then when you turn it, this is the tricky part. We said we started with the shiny side up, and we did. That's the shiny side up. And we have one layer of this cotton, and then the pockets and the second layer of the cotton shield. And you're going to turn it that way. And when you do, it'll end up like this. You want to press it nice and flat. Let me get this pocket over here where it belongs. Press it nice and flat so that it'll lay still and not be so bulky. And now when you turned it like that, your shiny side is going to be down and your pockets are going to be up. That's not the way you started. You begin with shiny side up and pockets up, but now it's shiny side down. So make sure that your pocket is on the right side so that you can sew across the seams on the end, just like this. Cut your corners a little bit there. Now then, when you flip that pocket, then your shiny side will be up after you flip that pocket when you sewed it. So you start with the shiny side up, put your sandwich on, sew everything down the sides, flip it out, and then make sure that your pockets are where the shiny side is down, pockets are on top of that. Sew it across the end, and then when you flip it, you'll be shiny side up again with pocket sides up, pockets up. And
that's the way you want to, that's the way you want to end, right, Carla? Shiny side up, pockets up.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and you want to begin that way and end that way, but when you flip it, you want to make sure that it's not that way. Your pockets are on the other side. But that's the only point in time where it's like that. And that's just so you can sew your pocket across the end. And then when you flip it, it'll be right again. Your shiny side will be up. That will make it up. And then you're ready at that point to do your top stitching all the way around. And you'll have a complete shield. So when you do your top stitching, just back stitch on the edges of those corners. That's where the most stress will be, and it's ready for the snaps. But if you didn't get those layers even, remember I said you needed to have your your shield pattern even on all sides? That's what you're going to get. Can you see that white showing through? That's my first trophy. I didn't get all my layers even, and so I didn't get them all stuck in there when I sewed that seam. So that one's no good, and it's there to remind me of that. But when you get to this point, after everything's been sewed together and top stitched, you're ready for your snaps. And I use cam snaps. They're really easy. I ordered mine on Amazon. They're just KAM snaps, if you can see that. Come with 1 page of instructions. They come with your tool that you use. You just put the piece in here, do it, squeeze it, and it's done. And you do that for both sides. The trick to that is making sure that you have the male and female ends pointed the right way, because when you turn it over to snap it, if it doesn't work, you messed up, like I've done many times. So you just want to make sure that's right before you put that snap in there, but they're really easy. And they come in colors, white, whatever you want. And you can get them on Amazon. They're not expensive at all. So now we'll go to the pads, which is really simple. The pattern for the pad is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. And I just take 2 pieces of flannel, different colors, and sew them together all the way around. Just leave a little opening about 2 inches so that you can flip it right sides out. And when you get it right side out, you want to take this, that side shows the seams better. You want to sew all the way around, top stitching it. And I did mine really close to the edge, but you'll sew right down the middle, and then in half, each end in half, dividing it into 4 pieces, as well as all the way around, doing your top stitch. That way this gives you a fold line so that you can fold both of these ends in and then fold it in half. And that's how the girls will use it in their shield. Let's see if I have a finish.
Yeah, that gives them 8 layers, right, Carla?
Yes, 8 layers of protection there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how they'll put that in their shield protector like this.
And also, Carla, we can put a second pad in there, can't we, if they need extra, you know, for if it's heavy,
Whatever.
at that time. You
They
can, so
need
it would
to.
be actually 16 layers if they need that.
If they need it. If they needed to do that, I would recommend just folding it in thirds and put it in there. That might be a little bit tighter, but 8 would be fine too. Either way, they needed to use it. It's doable, whatever they need for their purposes. But that's such nice fabric to have against your skin. And like I say, the colors will disguise any stains and that type of thing. So that part is real simple to do. Now, the bags themselves, this is the only other piece that you will be making. I cut mine 33 inches long, or 33.5 inches, and I want it 12 inches wide from one side to the other. I serge all the way around it, and at all 4 corners, I take this, let's see if I can show you right here. I measure in 4 inches from the end in there, and then I fold at an angle to the inside, and then I fold it again at an angle. I don't know if you can see that, but I folded it in there, and then we fold it, see my camera, there, just like that, and sew that down, and do that on all 4 corners. That gives you a little indentation there. That's where I finished sewing it. Do that on all 4 corners. When you get that done, take the end. I fold mine in 1 inch like that. Then I fold it in 1 more inch. That gives it a good casing so that you can put your drawstring in there, pin it down, and just sew it right across the top. Then you got, just turn it right side out, and those places where you sewed 4 inches in where you measured that, just put those together and sew from there down the side on each side, and you'll be ready for your drawstring. Now that's what it'll look like. And I use paracord for my drawstring. It's good and sturdy, and I think I showed you this last time. The ends will fray, but all you have to do is just stick a little match to it, and it'll seal that off, and it won't fray at all. But you'll take this, run it in one side of your bag through that casing, bring it back around through the casing on the other side, and then tie the knot right here. And then the second one, I think I cut mine 26 inches long because the bag is 24 inches wide. I mean 12 inches wide, so you have to do it twice. That's 24 inches, and then you'll need a little extra for that knot there. So I cut mine 26 inches for 1 string. Then you just run this around the other side, starting in this direction and back around, and tie your knot on this side. And that'll make your bag complete, except for the final touch will be when you put your garments in there, right in the corner down here, you want to write the size of whatever the underwear is. I think I have a sample here.
You know, Carla, we were just kind of talking about that, thinking another option which we could do, which we could take it and write the size on the inside of the Ziploc of the package that's inside. So all they would need to just open the top and peek in, and it's right there. That way, the outside of the bag, they don't have a number on.
Like a little purse. So are we going to do that then?
Yes, I think that's a good idea. Just, I'd like a nice, cute bag to hold on to without the number, so.
Yeah, it makes you feel like you're like in prison or something, number.
So we don't want that. But yeah, so, and now another question I have for you. Let's suppose you don't have a serger. Can we do zigzag around all the edges to keep from fraying?
Absolutely, that'll work just fine. No problems there. It doesn't have to be serged or zigzagged either. You know, you just want to make sure it's not going to fray. And this is a canvas type fabric, so it's pretty sturdy anyway. But whatever you're comfortable with, I have a serger, so I just serge everything. It seems like. But that will do the job if you just want to zigzag around it, and take a good inseam there. Besides, on the inside of that zigzag, that should be just fine. It's nice and sturdy. Any other questions about the bags or?
Well, maybe we can talk a little bit about what all goes inside the bag.
Okay.
Carla, why don't I let you go ahead and show, do you have a kit handy there? You can show the components. I think it'll be a little clearer if you do that.
Well, this bag is one that has been marked, but let's just pull out what's in here. Everything is in one Ziploc bag, one 1 gallon Ziploc bag, and I'll just pull that all out, and I'm going to stick those over there for a moment. So that's the Ziploc bag, everything goes in, and then there's a second Ziploc bag that nothing is in, but it's put in there so they can put their soiled items in there until they can get to where they want to go to wash it. They have 3 of these shields that we just talked about making, with a pad in each one. So that's 3 pads and 3 shields, and they have 5 extra pads to go with it as well, so they can change them out. And then they have 2 pair of underwear, nice new underwear, pretty colors. There's a washcloth in here, and there's 8 clothespins. And I don't know who decided 8, but I was wondering, since they have 8 pads, maybe that was it. But anyway, the washcloth and the clothespin so they could pin their items up to dry, and then a bar of soap. I had one lady tell me that she saved all the soap she gets from hotels and uses those. But I ordered a whole box of these. They're really nice off of Amazon, and they're not very expensive, not very heavy. Nice and pretty smelling. Just a little travel bar of soap. So that's your items. 3 shields, 3 pads in it, 5 more pads for a total of 8, 2 undergarments, 1 washcloth with 8 clothespins, and then your soap. And that goes in every bag. And Sue has instructions that she's showing you there that she puts in all the bags when we send them to her. I guess, can you send those to us if we find a homeless shelter that we can make them for or something like that?
Yes, actually, I think you all should have this in an attachment that I sent with the email that with the Zoom.
Okay.
I sent earlier to all the addresses. Let me know if you did not get this, but this should be one of the attachments. It's a Project Shield usage or pictorial usage. And but that just shows them in pictures how they're going to use this.
So we don't have any language barriers. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we can all read pictures.
Yes.
So
Kind of like
I have a question.
yes, Kathy.
Do you have any guidelines on the style of underwear or the sizes? Do you want all sizes?
As far as sizes, you know that, I mean, in some countries, girls will start their cycle as early as 9 years old.
Right.
So any size from what a 9-year-old would wear to throughout the life of a woman, because these can be used even after the cycle is stopped for, if a woman has incontinence from having so many babies.
Right.
This can still be a very useful product. So basically any from like age 9 throughout lifespan.
And then the style, do they generally prefer something that fits at the waist?
I think a full panty probably would be the best bet for this.
Okay.
I think that would be the safest way to go. A lot of times, if I think Sue mentioned before, these girls get the bags and they share it with all the ladies in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
So
They'll share it with their sisters, their moms, the grandmas. Mm-hmm.
everyone.
Yeah.
So that would be good, just to do a simple, basic style, I think.
Do the panties need to be pre-washed, or do you want them to just be brand new out of the bag?
I would just say brand new out of the bag.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
a good thing.
Okay.
Another thing about the undergarments, this is going to snap around the bottom, and if you don't have anything to snap to, it's not going to hold very well. So you want them to be a good, no thongs, no skinny bikini briefs, the type of things. I wouldn't think.
Right.
Sue?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
So
Yes, Joanne.
I printed off the directions and all, but there wasn't any pattern for the shield. Where do you get that?
The shield is, let's see. Are you talking about the pad itself, or are you talking about the
You don't,
the holder?
the whole,
You didn't
The
get the pad. You didn't get the pattern for the holder.
right.
Well, I should have sent it to you, so let me do that. I thought I had
So
attached that.
I think we have it. It's just that it's small. It's not
Oh.
the regular size.
I can mail you a full size if you want.
Well, I was just going to say, if you all would like a sample kit, I'm happy to send you one, just if you can pay the postage. We'll send you a full kit which has everything, which would include patterns out of cardstock. I can send you these. So just let me know if you're interested. Just email me and say I'd like a sample kit, and you'll need to send me your address where you want it mailed to, and then once we mail it, I'll just let you know what the cost of that is. You can send a check to the conference to cover the postage. But that would give you the patterns, the instructions. It would give you a cost estimate of the whole kit, which is around $15.88, I think, something like that. Just round, figures. And the instructions, the written instructions. So I would send you all of that for the cost of the postage. Just let me know. Give me your address and we'll send it to you.
To be clear, was it 2 each 1 gallon bags?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the bags gets folded up and put inside. Okay.
That's exactly right. That's exactly
Okay.
right. So one side, you're going to see this, and you're going to have you're going to write the size, and then the other side is going to be the pictorial directions, which,
Right.
so they'll just pull that out of this cute little bag, this little drawstring bag, and that's it.
Okay. Thank you.
You're sure welcome. Any other questions?
Well, it's
If not,
great. Thank you.
just, if you think of them later on, you are free to email me at scarlson@ks-ne.org. That's scarlson@ks-ne.org. And I know you ladies all have that, but the ones watching this video won't. So that's why I was going to share that with them. And like I say, we're happy to send you a sample kit with instructions and patterns just for the cost of the postage. So these you can send on mission trips. The ladies or the girls in the mission, going on that mission trip would be the ones that would give these to the locals. They would explain how to use them. And I may be in the future sharing something with you that would be very helpful. I wish I had it with me right now, but a flip chart of sorts that could be used to explain how to use these. So we'll be in touch on that, but for now, just know that the girls, the women in the group would be the ones that would be explaining to the locals how to use it, hygiene, and the various things about it. So any other questions?
Just thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your interest. And Carla, a big thank you to you for preparing and sharing, and we just really appreciate it. And God bless you as you seek out avenues where these could be of use. Like I say, mission trips, but also talk to your local women's shelters that with people losing their jobs these days, money's short, and a kit like this could be a real help to some woman. So check with them if they could use any of the reusable kits. So
there was one question that had been asked before this particular meeting, and that was about the cotton, how you could tell it was 100%.
Ah, yes, thanks, Carla. Go ahead.
On video on YouTube, you can see videos where it explains that if you take cotton and just put fire to the edge of it, it will burn if it's 100% cotton. If it's a blend, it won't completely burn. So that's one good way. If you have cotton laying around and you think, oh, this will be great to use, you can tell whether it's going to be that 100% cotton or not.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you thought of that. Anything else? All right. Well, thank you, ladies. And if you have any other questions, feel free to email me, or I'll be happy to answer you and get you in touch with what you need. So thank you so much. God bless you. And we'll say goodbye. Have a great day.
Happy sewing.
Yeah.
Thank you.